The Miami Dolphins get the first win of their NFL preseason with a 24-17 win over the Detroit Lions. They almost had to get another tie at 24, but they ended up getting the win. A lot of good performances to break down. Only really one injury that we have to discuss, which is a positive sign, despite it being to a relatively solid player in terms of importance. I am Nic Rohloff. This is Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. It was good to see the Dolphins defense really step up. It was really good to see some strong performances. We will certainly highlight the wide receiver Theo Wease Jr. coming up in just a bit. But let's start with the injury news first. And there was only one, as I briefly mentioned, and that was to cornerback Ethan Bonner, a player that is fighting for a roster spot, was on the 53-man roster last season, is probably on that fringe, 6th or 7th corner. He ends up getting hurt in the first half where he started. Storm Duck did not end up playing in this game, so Bonner took his place in that Dolphins secondary. And Bonner ended up leaving and going to the locker room with a lower body injury. I believe I saw someone say it was a hamstring. If I am mistaken, I apologize, but we will have updates on Bonner's status going forward. But if he is out for multiple days or even a week, that will open up the door for a potential corner to come in and be that CB6. Maybe it's Cam Smith. But let's talk about the quarterbacks here, because we know that's going to be a large topic of conversation in today's show. We'll start with the one that started the game, Zach Wilson. He played the entire first half. Quinn Ewers played the entire second half. Like last week, a lot of good, a lot of bad from Zach Wilson. We'll start with the positives. He was way more on time today. He did not hold the ball that long in comparison to last week. And maybe that was because the better defense or better pass blocking from the O-line. They were much better in that regard today. But I believed Wilson was way more accurate. He had an excellent drive where he connected with Dee Eskridge for 3 catches, 53 yards, ended up hitting him on a touchdown where he started left, came across his progressions, found a Eskridge on a drag route, and he took it in for a touchdown. He connected with Tanner Connor a bit too. He was a little bit more sharp today. Had one turnover-worthy play, if I charted it correctly. Could be more. I'd have to go back and watch. But there was really a lot of good, but there were a couple things that were so bad that I need to talk about it. The biggest thing that I cannot stand with Zach Wilson is his inability to avoid pressure. And it surprises me because when you watch him at a younger level when he first came into the league, and you watch him at college playing at BYU, he flashed mobility. And not someone that's going to be a dual threat QB by any stretch of the imagination, but someone that you can't keep your eyes off of and a player that can really make things happen out of structure. But what we have seen through the first 2 preseason games is that he doesn't look to get outside the pocket in a straightforward drop back. And it resulted in a couple sacks today. He got sacked once, but I feel as if it happened a couple times, and maybe one didn't count because of a penalty in the back end of the secondary. But that was an issue. And then the other issue that Zach Wilson had today was how he underthrew a ball that was like, are you kidding? Play action, straight drop back, had a wide open Dee Eskridge for what would have been his second touchdown. It would have been about a 55, 60-yarder, had about a full 8 steps on the corner, and then Wilson underthrew him by about 20 yards? Like, he should be laying it out to the end zone. Eskridge runs under it for a touchdown. Instead, he throws it to the 10-yard line. Eskridge has to stop, basically wait for the ball to get to him, and then break it up because the corner was able to get back and contest the ball. Just not sharp all around from Wilson. And he certainly opened the door for a potential QB2 battle because of how well Quinn Ewers played. Last Sunday, I shredded Quinn Ewers to smithereens. It was one of the worst quarterback performances that I have ever seen. He was 5 of 18. He had multiple turnover-worthy plays and would have had like 50 passing yards if it wasn't for the final throw and pitch play around the yard. But today, Ewers, sharp for the most part. 11 of 17, 116 yards. Found the end zone twice, both connecting with Theo Wease Jr. More coming on Quinn Ewers' performance here in just 1 second. But pinned comment on today's show, grade Quinn Ewers' performance. Last week it would have been an F. I want to know what you guys think his performance was today. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section. Want to continue talking about Ewers because there was a couple things that I saw from him. One, decisiveness. Last week, he played lethargic. He played without poise. And I feel like he just wasn't confident in himself in anything he did. Whether he was throwing the ball, reading the defense, nothing. This week, way better. He was excellent throwing over the middle of the football field. He had a couple throws on the move where he just hit his wide receivers in stride. It might have been broken up because of a good play by the defense and the defender, but he threw the ball where it needed to be. I don't think there was only one play that he put the ball in harm's way, threw it to the right boundary on an out route looking for Andrew Armstrong. If the corner makes an unbelievable catch, it would have been a toe drag interception. So that was the only time he put it in harm's way. Other than that, his ability to throw over the middle of the football field was terrific. And I thought Mike McDaniel was actually in his bag today as well. He had a couple really nice play-action passes dialed up, which got Ewers in rhythm, finding receivers over the middle of the field, whether it's a tight end, whether it's Theo Wease Jr. Either way, Ewers with a much better performance today, and he certainly puts himself in contention for the QB2 spot with how shaky Zach Wilson has been. If Ewers has another good week in training camp and a really good preseason game next week against Jacksonville, conversation might be had. More to come here in a second, but take advantage of this insane Miami Dolphins hoodie sale. $69 hoodie available right now for $37. Go to chatsports.com/MIA hoodie. That link is in the description and comments of today's video. Grab it now before sizes run out. 3Xs are gone. Every other one is in stock. Take advantage. I want to talk about the player now that Quinn Ewers connected with for his pair of touchdowns. UDFA wide receiver from Missouri, Theo Wease Jr. The two have an unbelievably strong connection, and you just see it on display day in and day out of practice as well as in today's game. He is Ewers' favorite target. They've known each other all the way back from high school, and you see that on display. We have consistently said that Theo Wease Jr. is probably either wide receiver 6 or wide receiver 7 battling with Taj Washington. I would put Theo Wease Jr. as wide receiver 7 behind Washington based off where they are playing inside the depth chart and in the second, third line offenses. But Wease Jr. is absolutely making a case for himself to make this Dolphins 53-man roster. He got open over the middle of the field twice. He caught a couple touchdowns. One really good play, the second one, where he was running across the formation. It was an excellent play where Ewers was rolling to his left. The two synced up, locked eyes for a brief moment. Ewers threw it. Wease Jr. stopped on a dime. The cornerbacks kept on running, and the ball just found Wease Jr. They both were on the same page of where to stop, where to throw the football to, and they caught it for the second touchdown, which ultimately put Miami up 24-17, or was it 21-17 at the time? Then they kicked the field goal later in the game. The point is, Wease Jr. would be my wide receiver 7 right now. Quickly, Dee Eskridge was phenomenal again. 3 catches, 53 yards, including a touchdown. Had a 27-yard reception that almost was a 50-yard touchdown, but got tackled from behind at the 13 on a screen pass that he just accelerated upfield. He also had a couple good plays in special teams, punt return, kick return. Dee Eskridge is a 53-man roster lock. There's just simply no other way to put it. He's wide receiver 5, and he is the perfect backup to Malik Washington, both on special teams and as a potential slot wide receiver. Ollie Gordon with another strong game. 10 carries, 50 yards. Had a 19-yard run where he just accelerated up the middle on a great wide gap created by the offensive line. And when he hit that second level, man, it is a cannonball coming. And he layered a hit stick on a safety, and it fired me the F up. Ollie Gordon, I tell you what, we'll talk about it in winners and losers. That video goes out tomorrow. Ollie Gordon might be RB2, folks, and I might be willing to say that right now. Taj Washington looked good again. 4 catches, 33 yards. He's just explosive. He just is. Like, the way that he has it when the ball is in his hands and he's able to generate some distance between him and a linebacker or a slot corner, it moves me. And it's going to be so tough. I think the hardest decision that this organization might have to make this summer is who makes the 53-man roster between Taj Washington and Theo Wease Jr. Because I doubt Miami keeps 7 wide receivers. So who gets cut? And I'll tell you what, folks, I have a hard time believing whoever gets cut isn't signed by another team. Would I like to have one of them on the P squad? Yeah, but I just know that another team is going to see what we're seeing and probably pick them up. It's going to be a brutal decision, and I am glad I don't have to make it. All right, before we sign off on this episode of Dolphins Today, let me know who was the MVP of today's game. We mostly talked about offense coming up in 1 second. I did want to briefly talk about the defense, but let me know who the MVP of this game was for the Miami Dolphins. All right, as we get out of here on today's show, couple defensive players that I need to highlight. Grayson Murphy had a sack, second straight week with a sack. The second-year UDFA out of UCLA has just been downright terrific. And because of Mohamed Kamara being banged up and missing the last 2 preseason games, you just simply have to have Grayson Murphy as one of your top 5 edges, whether it's above Kamara and Quentin Bell. He's a top 5 guy. I'd have him on the 53-man roster. Another player I want to highlight, Jordan Phillips. 5th-round pick out of Maryland, 1.5 sacks today. Had a couple plays in the run game, 2 solo tackles. I'm looking at the box score here, a couple QB hits, 1 TFL. Jordan Phillips, this guy looks like an absolute game changer potentially for the Dolphins. Do I expect him to get a lot of run in the regular season? No. He's going to be that 4th defensive lineman on the interior. He'll trail Grant, Benito Jones, and Zach Sealer, but he has a really bright future ahead of him, and I am excited to see how he continues to develop because this looks like a home run draft pick by Chris Grier in the middle rounds. That'll do it for today's show. More to come from this preseason game. We'll have winners and losers out tomorrow, and then a full week of videos coming up once again before the preseason finale for Miami between them and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So subscribe for the channel. Be on the lookout for winners and losers tomorrow, and I'll see you with a video. Go Dolphins.